Ladies and gentlemen, Brother Robb Collins, who now gives Tam O Shanter.
Lads and lasses, recharge your glasses while I tell you a tale of brownies, gogles and witches. When Chapman Billies leave the street and drouthy neighbours meet. As market days are wearing late and folk begin to tap the gate, while we sit boozing at the nappy, getting through and unco happy. We think near the long Scots miles, the mosses, waters, slaps and stiles that lie between us and our hymn, where sits our sulky, sullen dame, gathering her brows like a gathering storm, nursing her wrath to keep it warm. This truth found honest Tam O Shanter, as he fair one night did canter. All there, why ne'er a town surpasses for honest men and bonny lasses. Oh, Tam, had thou but been so wise, and take thy ain wife Kate's advice, she told thee well thou was a skellum, a blethering, blustering, drunken blellum, that for November to October, any market day, thou wasna sober. That ilka melder with the miller, thou sat as long as thou had siller. If every nag was cad a shoe on, the smith and me got roaring foo on, that at the Lord's house, even on Sunday, thou drank with your coat and jean till Monday. Aye, she prophesied that late or soon thou'd be found deep drowned in Doon, or catched with warlocks in the mirk, near Alloway's old haunted kirk. Oh, gentle dames, it gas me greet to think how many counsels sweet, how many length and sage advices a husband for his wife despises. But to our tale. Ere market night, Tam had got planted on Coorite, fast by an ingle, blazing finely, with reaming swats that drank divinely. And at his elbow, suited Johnny, his ancient, trusty, truthy crony. Tam loved him like a very brother. Well, they had been for weeks together. The night drave on with sangs and clatter, and aye, the ale was growing better. The landlady and Tam grew gracious, with favours secret, sweet and precious. The suitor told his queerest stories, the landlord's laugher, ready chorus. The storm without might roar and rustle. Tam didn't mind the storm or whistle. Yeah, mad to see a man so happy. He drowned himself among the nappy, as bees fly home with loads of treasure. The minutes winged their way with pleasure. Kings may be blessed, but Tam was glorious, against our heels a life victorious. But pleasure's like a poppy's spread. You seize the flower, the bloom is shed. Or like the snow, falls in the river, a moment white, then melts forever. Or like the borealis race that flit till you can point their place, or like the rainbow's lovely form, they're vanishing amid the storm. No man can tether time nor tide. The hour approaches. Tam mun ride. That hour, night's black arcs the key stain. The weary hour he mounts his beast in, and such a night he takes the road in as poor sinner was abroad in. The wind blew as 'twould blow its last. The rattling showers rose on the blast. The speedy gleams the darkness swallowed. Loud, deep and long the thunder bellowed. That night a child might understand. The devil had business on his hand. Well mounted, on his grey mare, Meg, better never lifted leg, Tam scalp it on through dub and mire, despising wind and rain and fire, whilst holding fast his good blue bonnet, was crooning over some old Scots sonnet, whilst glowering around with prudent cares, lest bogles catch him unawares. Kirkalloway was drawing nigh, where geists and let's nightly cry. By this time, he was across the ford, where in the snow the chapman smothered. Past the bricks and the meikle stain, where drunken Charlie broke his neckbane. Through the whines and Bathercairn, where the hunters found the murdered bairn. And by the thorn aboon the well, where Mungo's mother hanged herself. Before him doom pours all his floods, the doubling storm roars through the woods, the lightnings flash from pole to pole, near and more near the thunders roll, when, glimmering through the groaning trees, Kirkalloway seemed in a bleeze. Through ilk both beams were glancing, and loud resounding mirth, and dancing. Inspiring bold John Barleycorn, what dangers canst thou make us scorn? With Tiffany we'll fear nae evil, with Huskeba we'll face the devil. The swats are reigned in Tammy's noddle, fair play he cared na deals a boddle. But Maggie stood right sore astonished, till by heel and hand admonished, she ventured forward on the light. And wow! Tam saw an uncouth sight. Warlocks and witches in a dance. Nay, courtilian brand new for France. But hornpipes, jigs, strathspeys and reels put life and metal to their heels. A winnock bunker in the east, there sat old Nick in shape of beast. A towsy tyke, black, grim and large, to give him music was his charge. Screwed the pipes and gart them scale till roof and rafters had it beryl. Coffins stood round like open presses that showed the dead in their last dresses. And by some devilish cantrip slicht, each in its cold hand held a licht, by which heroic Tam was able to note upon the haly table a murderer's banes in gibbet irons, twas brallan we on christened bairns, a thief new cutted from a rape where his last gasp his gab did gape. 5 tomahawks with blood red rusted, 5 scimitars with murder crusted, garter a babe had strangled, a knife a father's throat had mangled, whom his ain son had life bereft, the grey hairs yet stuck to the heft. But more horrible and awful, which even to name would be unlawful. As Tammy glowered, amazed and curious, the mirth and fun grew fast and furious. The piper loud and louder blew, the dancers quick and quicker flew. They reeled, they set, they crossed, they cleeked, till ilka Callan swat and reek it and cush their duddies to the whack and link it at it in her sark. Now Tam, had there been queens, all plump and strupping in their teens, their sarks instead of creasy flannin, been Snow White's 1700 linen. These breeks are mine, my only pair, that wants a plush of good blue hair, and I give them off my herdies for a blink of them bonny birdies. But with the beldrums, old and droll, ragwoody hags had speen afoul, loutpin and a flinging on a crummock. I wonder, didn't it turn my stomach? But Tam kent what was what through brawling. There was a winsome wench and Wally that night enlisted in the corps. Long after Kent on Carrickshaw, for many a beast of dead she shot, and perished many a bonny boat, and shook both mickle corn and bear, and kept the countryside in fear. Her cutty sark, of paisley heart, that while a lassie she had worn, in longitudes, though sorely scanty, it was her best, and she was vaunty. Little Kent thy reverend granny, that sark she coy for her wee nanny, with £2 Scots, 'twas all her riches, would e'er have graced a dance of witches. But here, my muse, a winged choir, such flights are far beyond her power, to sing how Nanny lap and flang, a supple jade she was and strong, and how Tam stood like one bewitched, and thought his very een enriched. Even Satan glowed and fidged for fain, and hotched and blew wi' might and main, till first a caper, sang another, Tam tint his reason altogether, and roars out, "Well done, cutty sark!" And in an instant, all was dark. Scarcely had he Maggie rallied, when out the hellish legion sallied, as bees biz out wi' angry fyke, when plundering herds assail their bike. as open pussy's mortal foes, when pop they start before her nose. As eager runs the market crowd, when catch the thief resounds aloud. So Maggie runs, the witches follow, with many an eldritch streak and hollow. Oh Tam, they'll get thee ferrin. In hell they'll roast thee like a herring. In vain thy Kate awaits thy coming. Kate soon will be a woeful woman. Now do thy speedy utmost, Meg, and win the key stain of the brig. There at them thou their tail may toss, a running stream they dare not cross. But ere the key stain she could make, the fainter tail she had to shake for Nanny. Far before the rest, hard upon noble Maggie pressed, and flew at Tam with furious ettle. But little was she Maggie's mettle. A spring brought off her master Hale, but left behind her ain grey tail. The carlin clocked up on the rump, and left poor Maggie scarce a stump. Now, whoever this tale of truth shall read, ilk man and widow's son, take heed. Whene'er to the drink ye are inclined, or cutty sarks run in your mind, think you may buy the joys of dear. Remember Tam O Shanter's mare.